Alright, so we're back at the drill press. I have 2 bits selected for this. And I have one of these set aside. I only need to take it down like literally about 1/16. So I'm pretty much going to eyeball it, but I need to make sure that this thing does not move before I even set it down, line it up. I'll even clamp the body so it doesn't shift. Let me actually go get a clamp. Be doing this each time. Should better do it over there too, because it's going to be at a somewhat of an angle. Clamp one side, the body's kicking up this way, and the little spot's going to be there. So now it's, well, first thing I just got to get the body in shape, in place first before I clamped it. Okay, so we'll start with the end one. What I really need is a step bit, so I like that. Let's lock this in place. That one, and that one. Double check. Okay, kick it up for a second. Have my furlough. I'm going to just put it in upside down. Ferrule, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, actually just put it in there. See how that looks. Let's pull that out. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, let me get just a little scoop. This way. Goose. Since I already kind of have it somewhat of a little bit of hole, I'm sure I can hold it in place. No, still vibrates too much, so we'll have to clamp it down again. And back up. This is going to be tedious, tough, or total flow. Okay. Barrel. That in. Oh yeah, perfect. Well, almost perfect. Guess I'm gonna have to do a little putty work. I don't know if you can see it. It's just slightly off. But it's in there. I can put a little putty in there and fix that up. Then pull this out. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of these off camera, because it's gonna take a while. 1 down, 11 more to go. Well, hopefully you can see it. They're been modified. So the last thing left for this is to do a nice block sand with some 320, and then set it aside, mount a stick or something to where the neck is, and prep it for paint, and we'll be ready for the body on that. So I'm going to block sand this right now, and then I got one little quick neck modification for the tuning keys, and I'll show you that one too. So these are the Tuna Pegs that we're going to be putting into it, and in order to set them in, because these you don't have to put a screw in. I don't know if you can see it, but this little nub right here is, it can't just sit on the body. You're going to have to do a punch, a little dent into it, and on the side of the box it comes with this little thing here. Well, not the nut, but you use the nut, and you basically, I'm doing this one-handed, slide it in there, line it up. They say you just go ahead and punch through it, but I just did a pencil mark. I went ahead and did that for all of them, so that way I'm not going to be doing that with this thing sticking around. So I'm going to set these aside, and then just take my little punch here, and just make a little dent into it and test fit each one, and then set them aside, and then clean this neck up and get it ready for paint. Well, there's the nubs. I just went ahead and punched it, and then I took a small little drill bit about the width of the nub that's on the tuning keys and just cleaned it up a little bit. But they test fitted them, they sit perfect, so that's good. So now pretty much the body and neck just got to be, you know, wiped down and kind of get set up for paint. Be doing that in a couple days. But the next thing I'm going to do is a little cleanup here of this mess, and I'm going to fabricate the cover for the electronics out of a piece of stainless, little scrap piece that I have. And I'll explain that and show you how I'm going to go about that. Just hopefully it'll help deal with that neck dive. This is a scrap piece of stainless that I have that was powder coated, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to cut this chunk off, trace it off from the original plate. I foresee another body modification to the guitar, because I noticed this piece of stainless is a little bit thicker than the original plate, probably about a 32nd or even as big as a 16th. So I'm going to cut it out, and I'm going to fit into the body, and if it's a little bit higher, I may have to route part of the plate where the plate sits in the body just to bring it down to flush. And after, when I get this piece cut out, I'm going to go ahead and drill in the screw holes and the countersinks, so it's a perfect match. And I'll take it to my work and sandblast it and have it powder coated satin black, and that piece will be done. So I'm going to get set up for the cut right now. Well, what I'm doing right here is going to have implications on what's going to happen later involving this little piece. And if some of you metal workers might actually see what I'm doing, maybe you'll know. But what I'm doing is the start of something totally unexpected that I won't even know what happened for even a few days later. So there'll be warning for you. You'll see what I mean later. it a little bit. You may have to heat it and reform it. As you can see, the piece has got a little bit of a bow in it, probably due from the heat from cutting. Usually that what happens, it kind of warps it a little bit. So I'm going to take a torch and I'm just going to heat this side of it, because typically when a side gets hot, it wants to kind of bow upwards. So I just got to do it in reverse, right? So I'm going to do next, I'm going to get it hot and then I'm going to get it flattened again. So I got the piece flattened again. I'll clean this up and start cleaning the edges and start shaping it exactly how it is. Well, that's 3, you motherfucker. That's 3 time-lapse segments in one video, and we're not even halfway through.
Oh, stupid time-lapse.
Well, you
I'm so really sorry.
Well, if you just noticed what I did previously when I heated the thing up, that's also part of the clue on what the hell I did. That's gonna drive me freaking crazy later. This is part simple. It's just really cleaning up the burrs from, you know, cutting around it, not making it sharp anymore, flattening it, sanding it, just, you know, because I literally heated the thing up to get it soft, and then I pressed it. And the way I pressed it to get it flat is I actually put it between a couple pieces of plywood, and I drove my car on top of it. So I literally sandwiched it and let it cool to flatten it back into shape, and had to actually kind of hammer a little bit too. So we're back at the drill press. I have the holes matched up from the other piece, so going ahead and I got some crap underneath here. Go ahead and drill them out right now. 2 bits. I'm going to use a step bit. All you need is just the first opening, and then I got another bit here so it could be countersink just like the other one. This segment here is also another clue on the unexpected issue I'm going to have with this back cover plate. Oh yeah, notice the little smoke there? Ooh, that got real hot. And step bits are pretty good for metal. Oh boy. Now, too bad my hand's in the way holding the thing. What you're not seeing is I got through one hole. One time. Only one hole. And then, here I am trying again. But this time, will I make it through it? No, it melted the tip.
Oh yeah, made that
tip is toast.
For this, I'm just actually going to be using my collection of old drill bits, because if I wreck it, it's not going to be a bother to me.
Again. Same spot. Nope. Melting the tip.
Consider that one toast as well. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and keep trying to drill holes, try to waste them. I'm not going to waste the... You don't need to see me go over and over and over drill bits. I'll come back to one when it's time to countersink.
Okay, we're going to look at some cute little bunnies while I explain the major fucking thing that happened with the back cover plate. Notice when I was cutting it, that generates heat. And also, when I tried to flatten it, I gave it more heat. Well, what happens when you heat metal and then you chill it? Oh, you harden it. What is that piece of metal? Stainless. That stuff's already hard. That's why I went through what you only saw was 2 drill bits. What I edited out, I went through like 10 drill bits. And I still couldn't put 2 more holes into it. I ended up taking the thing to my shop, to my work, and we have usually some better bits that can actually drill through stainless, and they didn't work either. So luckily, with our connections with some of our clients, we ended up actually handing the piece over to an iron worker, and the smallest bit was a little bit bigger than what I needed, but he was able to drill the remaining holes into it, but it was a bitch. So in the end, that little stainless is bulletproof. So in case if somebody ends up trying to shoot me at that part of the guitar, at least I know that thing will save my life. That was insane. Stainless steel does weird. But yeah, so I would suggest if you do that, drill the holes first, then cut the piece out. So there you go.